Well, I've been coming in doing some dirt work, getting stuff cleared out, but we still got an issue. Still got standing water. That's the issue. Welcome back to our journey, folks. So yeah, today I think I'm going to go ahead and grab, so if you missed out on the first video of kind of like what we're wanting to do with this area, definitely go check out that video. I can post it up here in the corner, and then come right back because I'm going to go ahead and start designing or building our Gabion Wall cages today. As of I'm recording this right now, we still have to get more materials to actually finish this project. But I do want to go ahead and get started right now. I'm already going to be moving the water, getting the water out here. So let's go see what I'm doing real quick. Man, this SB2 is some thick stuff once it gets laid down. So let's go clear some water, and then we'll be right back. Well, this spot's never going to dry out if the water's just sitting there. So I guess I need to make a trench. And I thought you had a backhoe. I do. It's not currently on the tractor. And I'm not looking to do that big of a trench. Just enough to get the water moving. This SB2 really packs in once it's established. Alright, so that's actually moving out of here pretty good. It's still got a nice flow. Everything's going. Basically, we still kind of got this little ditch right here. Yeah, it is what it is. So, along with this project, because we're still moving water, putting in the wall. So, obviously, it's going to be kind of a multi-stage because we still need to put gutters on the house as well. So if you see the front of the house, it has like that little portion above the front door. So we're going to have a gutter here with a downspout coming to here. And then that downspout, I'm going to connect it to the line for drain water to go out. And then obviously that side of the house, that downspout can just go straight down. And we'll just have that going straight to the ground. And then obviously back here in the back as well. This one will be a little bit easier because this one is just all straight shot, and left the light on. Always do that. But anyway, this one will just be a straight shot all the way down. Put a downspout on that side, and that too can just go straight out. I'll probably connect some of the hoses to that, just to allow that water to get away from the house. Now for this area right here where we're putting in the Gabion Wall, most of the water that will be coming into this area comes from the ridge. So at this point, this is also going to be another project. So we're on the side of the house and we want to build a carport here. It's really only wide enough for one of the vehicles to be in here comfortably, unless I really widen this out, because I got a big truck. Gladys has the Jeep. She's also looking at getting herself a truck down the line. So really, because the distance between the house to the power pole of where we want to be able to put this carport at really limits us to the size of the carport. So to have two full-size trucks, you really want to have at least 24 feet to be able to set that. We just don't have that kind of space here. So from the house to the pole is only 22, and by the time you're putting a building, or not necessarily a building, but a carport here that has legs and all the other stuff, that's kind of cutting it down as well, because now you're staying inside. So that really only gives us about 20 feet at most that we can put here, and putting two full-size vehicles in there just ain't gonna happen. So this is only gonna be a single vehicle carport. So we're looking at doing possibly 16, give or take. Now the question to y'all is, leave us a comment down below of what you think would be better. So obviously the side of the house, this is a double wide mobile home. Now we can put like a ledger board up here to connect it to the house itself. We'd have to take down obviously the whole top portion of this, of where the ledger board is going to be, get that put in, and then, you know, do all the fancy stuff. We'd end up having to get some more J channel, some more stuff like that, and then get this back in there. I am not a siding guy, right? I don't necessarily know. I mean, I could probably figure it out. I can see up here at the top that I can get some pieces taken out up here and then start working my way down. I can figure it out. I'm quite certain. But that would be a lot of work, you know, to get that put in. For me, right? Not saying for anybody else. But then the other option, so either doing the ledger board, which I could do. I'm not saying I can't. Or just putting posts in right here next to the house. The only problem with that is right here in this corner, where we would want to have a post, is water shut off. So I wouldn't be able to go right there. I would actually have to come back a little bit to dig for a post here, which would be really close, which would put it past the house. Or I would have to go this side to put a post, and then just have like an overhang with a beam or whatnot. But then, right, we'd have to do the same thing out here. So because the Gabion Wall is coming, you know, all the way to basically in line with the house. So where the whole line of the house comes down, basically roughly, you know, into here is where that is going, right? And then going that way. I only need to make this 12 inches wide, you know, at minimum. But I'm actually thinking that I'm going to go 18 inches, makes it a little wider. So 18 inches, because you always want to, you know, minimum. So if you're doing a foot high, 6 inches wide. If you're doing 2 feet high, 1 foot wide. 3 feet high, 1.5 feet wide, right? It's always going to be half of, like, whatever the height is. You want to basically take this, and that's your minimum, right? So for a 2 foot tall wall, it needs to be between 12 and 18 inches wide for stability. Okay. Now, we did have someone ask, hey, are you going to be putting anything down into the ground, like rebar or anything like that, to kind of hold it in place? That way it's not wanting to move around. Well, that's not really needed, because just the weight alone of all the stone that's going to be inside the cage is not going to allow it to move. Now, to stop the cage from bowing, or to making it look like it's not straight, basically, some of that is going to happen, but you tie off on the inside of your cages with wire in several different spots, and it holds everything together. Okay, so I came over here, actually brought the panels over here from where they were at inside of the fenced in area over yonder ways. And well, if you look at these panels, you can see, so this is what's called a hog panel. Okay, So these are roughly 50 inches tall. It has the 4 smaller slots at the bottom. Then it has 2 rows of, so it's basically a inch and a half, then 2 inches, then a 3 inch, then a 4 inch, a 4 inch, and then a 5 inch area up here. Now with this, even having the entire panel, so the panel itself, as tall as it is taller than we need it to be for what we're doing, for ground level. Now, can it be taller than what we need it to be? Sure. That just means that more of it's going to be exposed. So that's something that I really need to talk with Gladys on, to say, hey, do we want part of this to be exposed up out of the ground and just have the ground come to it? Or are we wanting to have it dead level with the ground to where possibly even some of that dirt or whatnot is coming towards the top of it and laying on top? Because we can always put down like a fabric and a little bit of, whatever, right? Fabric, put some dirt down. Now, is anything really going to grow on it very well? Probably not. But I think it would look better, me personally, I think it would look better if it was a little exposed and then we just put the dirt level on the backside of where it needs to be. Plus it's also going to have, gravel and all that stuff back behind it with the French drain and all those things. But then I also really got to thinking too, I was like, you know what? I never really measured exactly how long of these panels I need them to be, because we are also going to be incorporating stairs over there to be able to go up, so that way I'm not having to walk around, because that's where the studio is going. And instead of having to walk around the Gabion Wall, I would like to be able to just walk upstairs, right? Makes it simple, right? So let's go mark out exactly where I want to put these stairs, and then I know how long of a Gabion Wall I even need to build in the first place. Yeah, that's probably smart, right? All right, let's go do that. do, donkey. That'll do. Come say hi. You just came to play in the mud. You just came to play in the mud. You can get one out, you can get the rest of them out without having to cut it. And the other one will be in here somewhere. Good enough for government work. I know. Giggles. I know. Apologize for any wind. Still don't have any mics yet, so yeah, just gonna have to deal with that for now, for right meow, I guess. So now I guess I need a tape measure. At least 15 feet. At least 26 feet, give or take. I don't know. Work with me here. Those are roughly 16 feet. Okay, so here kind of lies the issue. So I know one side is going to be 26 feet. These are 16. So I'm going to need, well, for one, I already knew that I needed more panels, but I'm going to need at least two more for the long side. And then, because, right, the reason why I say two is, for one, basically just for the sides, right? Now, am I worried about putting a panel at the very bottom? Not really. So I do plan on having a spacer at the bottom to kind of give me that space that I need it to be. And it will kind of also help with, keeping the bottom and stuff like that from going out. But at the top's going to need some type of lid, unless I just want it to be the exposed rock, right? Because the Gabion wall normally has sides, bottom, top. It's a cage, right? You're building an entire cage, but you don't necessarily need to have that to get the same look, right? Basically, what I'm trying to do is have a rock wall that I don't have to worry about dry stacking a certain way and not have it fall down, right? So that's your biggest issue with having a rock wall, is you don't want it to fall. So doing the Gabion wall, as long as everything is tied together and whatnot, you don't want it to rack either. So that's one of the reasons why you normally have to have a top, bottom, sides, but you don't necessarily have to have a bottom. You're trying to stop your sides from doing this, but you're also trying to stop the sides from doing this or doing that. And I do plan on tying these together with a wire, and I also need to make a tool to help me bend said wire, because it's fairly thick gauge stuff, and it's actually stuff that we used for fencing. So it's the high tensile wire, and it's actually a really thick gauge. I don't even know what gauge it is, because I did not purchase it. It was given to us, and I'm just reutilizing it for projects, and this just so happens to be one of them. Well, to be able to make good looking bends and get that wire to twist where I want it to twist, I am going to have to go make a tool. That will be coming later. Either that's going to be in this video or possibly the next. I don't know yet. So yeah, as of right now, there's another issue that I was thinking about. Let's just go over there. I want to show you. Okay, so other than the land holding water right here, when I measured the height of the land compared to down here, right, using the water level, that basically this area right here is the steepest. It's going to be the highest of where I need my wall to be. Now down at that end, not so much. Down at that end, definitely not so much. So the thing is, since I'm wanting my stairs to be roughly right in here, I think what's going to end up happening is this wall on this side is just going to be a continuous size wall. I can always build up the land over on that side, but on that side over there, this is what I'm thinking. So basically from this stake here to the stake way over here, that the land slopes. Now, obviously the slope of the land is coming towards us, also going towards the creek. So this land isn't perfectly level. It actually has a slope to it. But this land up here where the tractor sits is sloping back down that way. I did that. I am the one that caused it to go like that. Now, this area right in here, I can still kind of build that up a little bit, but by the time I get to that other stake out here, I do not want to have to build the land up right there, because I'm not wanting to have to put another Gabion wall going that direction into the land, right? I want everything to kind of go together. So down at this end, I only need my wall to be like 6 inches tall, a foot tall maybe, I don't know, give or take. So I think what I'm going to need to do in here is steps. So not steps like this where I'm going to be walking up, because I'm going to have to dig all that out and actually build a set of stairs there. But I think here, since this is, what did we say this was, 15? Yeah, 15. That we can break this up into threes and just have it be the same height wall that's on that side. That way both sides of the stairs have the same size wall on it. come down, and then it'll step down. So if this wall over here is going to be the full size of the cage, which is 30, what did I say it was, 30 inches? Yeah, I believe I can double check that. But it would be the full height, and then over here it would step down a little bit, go 1/3, and then over here would step down again for 1/3, kind of going along with the land. So leave me a comment down below of what you think of that. And obviously, that's just what I'm thinking. I always have to go get the boss's approval. So yeah, we always try to be on the same page, especially whenever it comes to things that we're going to be looking at every single day. So yeah, let me go find out. All right, so obviously the wind picked up. Boss lady's here.
Yeah.
So this is what I was thinking. I was already telling them. I said I was going to come get your honest opinion of what you thought. So I have laid out here of where stairs could be. Sound good to you?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay. I'm so tired. I woke up
Yes. Which I already knew she was going to be tired. She woke up early this morning. Giggles, you're so spoiled. You're spoiled. Okay, so since we got the approval, I have enough materials to go ahead and start with this cage on this side over here. Obviously, I also need to dig out this area here. And as you can see, I don't have the backhoe on the tractor. So if I want to be able to do that, I would need to go get the backhoe put on. I'm not quite ready for that just yet. A few more things I wanted to do with the box blade before doing said. But I think as of right now that this is cleaned up. I mean, I can do a little bit of cleanup with a shovel. But let's go ahead and go get the cage built for this section over here. And let's kind of set it in place and see what it looks like. Okay, so with these panels, right, if you count your squares, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way down to 24, right? So if I want to be able to break this out to make it look like it's stepping down, I'm using the big squares as the bottom, the small squares as the top of the cage. And then I'm also wanting all of my horizontal lines to be on the outside of the cage. I just think it'll look better that way. So with that being said, I need to mark. So 24 divided by 3, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. So, double checking that height of what it was. So these are actually 34-inch panels, not 30, right? So if I'm wanting it to step down, the bottom is going to be staying the same. The top is what's going to be changing. Which I think by the time I get down to the bottom, like how tall is this? That's almost a foot tall. Yeah. So I already know that that panel down there, I want to be just these last two. So that will leave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it would look okay if I just cut those off, leave it at this section here, so I need to cut that, cut that, cut that, cut that, cut that. And cut here. Here. Then once I've gotten to this section, now I need to come down to here, so I would be cutting this, 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 and then basically same thing, I'd be coming down cutting here. Here, here, here. Now, what would be nice is if all these panels were the exact same. So I do know that they make other type of fence panels that you can get. They even have actual panels made specifically for Gabion walls that you can do, like little 1-inch squares, 2-inch squares, 3-inch squares, however big of rocks that you're wanting to contain, right? And that they're all the same. So obviously if I was doing this and I'm cutting out a panel that I would try to make basically a mirror image of both, and then I can get now two sides out of one panel. But since this is not the same, I'm going to end up utilizing the waste that's cut out of this for other portions of the wall. So I can either use portions of the wire or the cage for stability. I can use parts of that for bracing and stuff like that on the inside. You wouldn't really be able to see it. So if it's not 100% straight or equal, it doesn't matter, right? As long as I'm able to utilize all of it without anything going to waste. That's the most important part. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this cut out, and then yeah, we'll make another one look just like it. Sorry. so left and right panel. I know this one's kind of hard to see, it's in the shadow, but I laid that down with the long runs going, you know, like it would be on the outside of the wall. That way it can stand up. This one can stand up, and then I just did the mirror image of it. It was a little easier to see, just laying right next to this one instead of having to measure it, count it out, whatnot. And then I took all the extra pieces, so it actually worked out a little better to do. These measure out to 16 inches, so that's how wide I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to take these top pieces, right, and I'm going to go ahead and match them to here. Now obviously that doesn't go all the way down to the bottom, but I can kind of fill that in as needed, either with dirt or just put kind of like a rock around it to kind of hide that opening, or a big enough rock down at the bottom. Okay, now I'm gonna do one there. I'm gonna do another one here, so it'll close that off. Okay, which obviously that'd be the other way around, right, give or take. And then do one there, and then obviously there would be another one that would go here. Okay, and then another one down at the end. And then I can also use some of these pieces kind of like in between, right? So this is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So take basically half of that 1/3, which would be here. Okay, and then also put something here that will also brace that portion. So now you only have 4 squares that, you know, that way it's not going to do this as the wall is going up, which obviously you only have a few rocks down here at this end, so I don't think it'll be as bad as, you know, down here as the rocks get higher up, especially on that bigger wall, right? Because the entire thing is going to be this height. So yeah, I think it will work out okay. So let's go ahead and get some of these pieces. I'm just going to go ahead and put it up temporarily with zip ties just to get it going, but I'm definitely going to come back and tie everything up with wire to get it nice and strong. I like it. Okay, so I've actually ran out of zip ties, so I'm actually going to be utilizing just some of this little smaller wire. So this is actually a 20 gauge wire. I got plenty of that. This you can basically bend by hand, and not too bad. But then I also have some 16 gauge. It gets a little thicker. Still, you can bend this fairly easy by hand, but that's not actually what I'm going to be utilizing on this to get everything tied up. I'm actually going to be utilizing this thick gauge, and I like I said, I don't know exactly what it is, but you can kind of see the difference between 16 gauge and this, basically twice the size. So this is almost like an 8 or like maybe a 6. I don't know. It's up there. So obviously the smaller the number, the bigger the wire, right? So with that being said, this is really hard to bend by hand, especially trying to get some tighter bends in it like that. But I am going to be making a tool with this. But today, you can see the sun's already getting low in the sky, and we actually have something we got to go do tonight. We have an event that we're going to see. It's actually at the high school. So I think I'm going to be putting this one on hold until the morning. But I'm going to go ahead and tie up a few more of these things with just the wire, the smaller wire off camera. And then I got to go get cleaned up. Yeah. I guess I can't go into town looking like a hillbilly. Smelling like one, too. All right, so it's actually the next day. I don't know if you can tell, but it's already later in the afternoon. So if you don't catch us over on our Scuttlebutt channel, which is our side channel, that link's always down in the description. Go check it out. But Gladys was not here, so I was inside. That way I can always check in on the kiddo, whatnot. So as of right now, I actually needed to get to doing some dirt work. So that means I need to jump into the tractor. We're going to get some stuff cleared out. So whenever it's just me and the little one here, I try not to do any type of like tractor work or whatnot. Because yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, I'm going to go fire up the redheaded mistress, Miss Ginger, and get her warming up, and then we're going to knock out some dirt work. All right, let's get to it. I don't know how well that picks up on camera, but like, all this right here is just, I mean, water is just still pouring out of the area. So like, I don't know if you can see, like there's a little hole right there in the side. Basically there's water coming out of that. So as I was doing this, right, it's just so much water right here coming out of the hillside, right? So obviously I'm focusing on this area here. So from where that stake sits to the corner of the house, this area right here is 18 feet. And then from this backside of the house to this stake up here is also 18 feet. So obviously this section of the wall we're not focusing on right this second for this video. I'm doing more of the front side. Well, you can kind of see, right, our driveway goes straight until it basically gets to the end of the house, and then it kind of catty corners and then starts going at an angle. So I want that other wall basically to do the same thing. So this wall is going to be parallel with the house, okay, up till it gets to the stairs, and then from the other side of the stairs is actually going to turn some and then go basically in line, you know, with the driveway, which the driveway is actually more in line with the power line. So I don't know if you probably can't see the line, but basically goes from this pole here to the other pole on the other side of the well house. Okay. So if I want it to be, you know, exact, then obviously I'd have to, you know, pull off of a measurement, right? Eyeballing it kind of off of that power line to get it exact. But I have that cleaned up pretty good, the way I would like it to be. And to know that, because my cage ended up being 16 inches wide, right? So if I have the back side of my cage basically right here, pretty close to like where the stairs are going to be, which I randed over my steaks. And I really need to be in some muck boots, not my shoes. But go ahead and I get my cage here, right? I still have a lot of this open on the back side. Am I going to need to clean it up some? Sure, yeah, I'm going to need to do that to be able to put in the drainage. But right now it's just everything's so wet, and it's really not going to dry up anytime soon. But I do think that this right here is still going to be fine. I'm actually going to lay down some fabric, right? That's going to be underneath the cage. Set the cage in place of where I want it to sit. Kind of see what it looks like. Get the fabric on the back side where it's going to be. So it still allows water to come through, right? It still allows air or whatever. But all that dirt is not going to be seeping into the rocks coming through the cage, right? That way it keeps all the rocks nice and clean. So I'm liking this the way it is. It's soft, it's wet, but we're going to work with it the best we can. So I think once we get it over here, it will look pretty good. And then I really can't tell what it's going to look like until I get it here, right? Then to see if I need to make adjustments from that. But I already know that I need to remove dirt over there to be able to get, you know, that cage where I want it to be, to where it's even with the house. But we'll worry about that on the next video whenever it's time to do that over there. All right. So I think it's time to lay out some fabric and go grab the cage. So what do you think?
Not nice.
What do you think?
It's awesome. I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a pretty good idea, I guess.
I did have a good idea.
Oh, should I show them?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So this is not basically where it's going to go, right? But obviously I still got some land work I need to do. I still need to tie this. I haven't fully tied it yet. It's just tied together temporarily. Just to be able to move it around. I still need to strengthen it because right now it will kind of go cattywampus. But yeah, so this area right here is where that big stump was. So that was the one that I think that Dad and I dug out by hand.
I believe so.
So if you guys have missed that, and that's like that big stump up, the real big one. Yeah, that was, and so it's really, really soft right there. Now, obviously, I can throw in some like smaller little rocks like this. You know, I can gather up a bunch of stuff, you know, little stuff to kind of throw into there to help it. But I'm not too worried about it. Not too worried about it. Plus, I was wanting to replace this end as well. I'm going to take a full piece off of the other panel I have over here and just kind of do that whole thing. But I still need to go make the tool to get this thing tied up. But we're already kind of getting lengthy in this video as it is. So with that being said,
it doesn't record. Okay.
No, you can't just put your hand up and record like you do with the phone. So we're going to go ahead and end this one here of where this is at. Like I said, I still need to make the tool. I'm dusty. It's playing in the mud. But then I'm going to move this back up out of where it's at. That way I can kind of stabilize the ground a little bit better. Get this thing tied up better. And then the next video coming up, we will get it back in place. We'll start filling it. And then also working on the other side of where that's at. So, do you want to join me in this here endeavor?
I guess.
Instead of being off camera, they can just like barely see you. So.
You did a good job, baby.
Thank you.
You did.
Thank you.
You did an awesome job.
It's getting there. It's a little bit each day. So, I've already told them that I would like to be able to do the videos like start to finish on a project, but it's never going to happen.
No, time gets you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're having fun.
Yeah. I'm having fun. But we never have all the materials we need right up front anyway. So.
No, we don't. We make do with what we got.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah.
So, if you'd like to stick around a little bit further on this journey we call life, go ahead and check out this video that's right here. or the whole year's playlist is over on this side. Continues to grow as the year progresses. And then icons up here at the top make it easy to subscribe both here and to our side channel. And then last but not least,
Always thank a veteran at every chance you get.
not only on Veterans Day.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Better friends.
Bye.